Alright, hi guys. I'm just going to quickly do something here, in part because I got a little annoyed at someone claiming that they can't understand basics. So, we're going to recreate this little scene here by quickly grab. If you have a look at the start of the motion picture, you see this little shot. I won't bother with the sound, we don't need it. Where you got the three Katinga class battle cruisers, they come in, and you have this lovely little motion pass. Anybody who understands a camera and the basics here will understand how this works. Which is that when the camera gets straight down, it does a rotation in 2 degrees and continues on. Now, this shot goes for about 50 seconds overall. So how do we recreate it? Well, for a start, I've loaded in JS Camera Rig 1.1. The big one with the camera rig, other than the fact that I've changed my camera to a high definition TV camera, is that we've got a standard boom rig here. So, as he describes on his own website, which is just here, Artstorm, it's set up as a standard steady cam rig. For a boom, you can rotate the actual boom by clicking on here, clicking rotate. You can rotate and it will maintain focus just as if you were using a studio camera setup. You can use a target, you can shake cam, all that fun stuff. We're going to actually use this as the basis for recreating a motion rig. It's not perfect, but it'll do the job, especially in part if we were to use a target, because here we've actually got a target that our camera is trying to follow at the front. The best thing is we can actually click when we want this to be used and when we don't. So the other thing is we need to set this up for about 50 seconds. We're going to actually adjust the scene, so we're going to pull up our scene options here. We're running 24 frames per second, so we need 50 frames. Quickly grab the calculator because I'm being lazy. We're going to go for about, we'll actually go for 55 seconds, so 55. We need 1,320 frames. So there's our 55 seconds worth. We also, of course, need 3 Katinga classes. I've gone and grabbed ProLogix D7 from over at Foundation 3D. As we can see here. So I'm going to grab it, and I'm not really going to worry at the moment at all about the fact that it's likely not set up properly. I'm not doing a lighting rig for this or anything like that. We're just loading in the Katinga class. So we've got that. We're going to first shrink it down a little bit. Like so. And in the case of this, we're going to actually use the camera as a motion rig and say that these were models mounted on their own rig unmovable and the camera was the moving object. In other words, we're going to actually recreate as much as we can the original shot. So if we have a quick look back here, scrub forward slightly, we can see that they're in a rough formation here. Okay, so that gives us the formation. Obviously it's out of focus. We're going to grab the camera rig here. We're going to grab it by the base, and we're going to move it back until we get all three into focus here. And the other one is we're going to grab our focus, bring the middle one into focus. We're going to have a look at the setup, and we're not that far off. This one probably come up a little bit to about here. Fairly close. It's not 100% accurate, but again, like I said, we're not going 100%. We're just trying to recreate some of it. The other thing we're going to do is I'm actually going to move the target for when I want it from here across. And I know that at one point in that scene it basically grabs it does like a track shot on the back of this. So that gives us that. Now, this part's correct. If we scrub forwards, we're using 10 seconds as our basic 0 point. We scrub forwards 12 seconds in, at about 27 seconds in. We should be at this point. How do we get there? Okay, grab the camera, scrub to 27 seconds. Let's get the broad basics of this movement in. 27 seconds. Camera should have moved forwards to about at this point. However, if we actually look, as we're coming in, we start a slight sideways movement because we need to be able to track. So we're going to have two things happen here. One, the length of the boom is, we're going to retract the length of the boom in. We're also going to step the camera off slightly to the side. The camera comes down a little, so we're going to rotate the Steadicam part down. And then we're going to actually move the camera itself towards where our target is. So I've probably come across slightly too far. Let's rotate this across and bring the camera back in. Have a look. We're not perfect, but we're getting there. Maybe bring the camera height down a little. And move the camera forwards just a little. And of course we need to redo our focus. Like I said, we're just after the broad basics. So let's just have a quick scrub here, see if, when we can see that we've already got a couple of problems happening. As we come in, camera's dropping down a little too fast for our liking here. So instead, at this point, we'll go to the 20-second mark. We can see that really it's wrong here. We need this part of the camera to come back up, rotation to come back across. And the camera back into place, like so. Coming up on this, about the 25-second mark, we'll do another correction, because if we have a look, 25 here, we should see a little bit more of this neck, so we need to do a rotation move. Easiest one we can do here is to grab the camera, just lift it like this, and grab our length and give the camera boom a little bit more length at this point. And as we can see, we're actually moving sideways, so we need to fix that rotation slightly. Bring the camera back over, fix the rotation. So let's do a scrub again. Comes in, comes in, comes in, looks, looks, comes in. Now if we scrub through 20 thing, you'll notice that over the course of 30, from 27 we come across over, we're focusing on the back here. So at this point, so at 27 we don't want to be, up until 27-ish, we don't want to be using our target. And from 27 to 28 we'll tell it we want to start. So by 28 we want to be using our target. The other thing we'll have to do, of course, is unset our camera rotations. So we just make certain that we've not lost any big issues here. We need to do a couple of fixes by the looks of it. Or we could actually just do it all by hand, which we might. We'll delete that. We could have used the target the entire way through, but in case of this, we're just going to just do it the good old-fashioned way. So let's get the actual camera itself through its motions. So from 27 by 34 it should be, the camera should be back about, so the camera's about here. It's clearly done a 360 and we know that this isn't pointing the right direction at the moment. We'll fix that in one moment. Because what we're going to do is some manual camera work. So you want to bring the length in here. I want to grab the focus. Check that it's roughly the right length, which it is. We want to rotate the camera down. Which gives us this section of the shot, as you can see here. Now, if you look, camera hits 90 and then it does a rotation. So, as we scrub forwards here, camera does not move further than that down, which means we now need to get the camera to track across. How do we do it? Well, the big one is the camera has more than one form of rotation. And in the case of this, we can actually see what it's doing. As it comes over, the camera is actually rotating to give us that shot. So, the other thing we can do, we can actually start that rotation. Helps if we don't unclick the camera there. And around here. Bring the camera around, bring it back up. We want to focus in on the back. But by the looks of it, we need to probably do a correction here. Bring the camera down a little. At this point, let's have a look. We can possibly bring the boom length in just a little, and we want to rotate the camera around a little bit more. So it's probably more around like this. I'll actually delete that part of the move for the moment. Bring that, bring the camera up, finish bringing it around. Okay, let's finish off the last part of this move, which is camera comes back to here. And that's it. That's out here. So grab this, bring it back. Let's get the camera set up. First off, bring the camera back up. Bring its rotation around, give it back a little bit of its boom length. Bring it into whack. We can see we actually need to bring the camera back. Let's fair chunk more here. Rotate the camera up. We give the boom some length. That's how we get height. And we bring the focus back. So now we scrub that section. Okay, so through here this looks good, this doesn't look good though. If we come back we can see that it actually should keep its focus up here. So we just go into the camera here. Again, need to lift the camera up a little bit. Bring it to the left a little bit. There we go. And there you have it. There's basically that entire shot. Maybe a little bit too quick in this part, but like I said, we're not out to recreate the scene fully. Anyway, thanks for watching. Bye.